And we're going into game one.
Gotta love these Asuri mains.
PXshadow versus Stevenator, Asuri Ditto, Mammoth Fortress.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
Shadow fishing for that unarmed, but Stevenator ends up taking it.
Finds the first sword, immediately gets a side light and a side air combo. PXshadow picks up the guitars. He's trying to go in for a combo of his own. Finds a signature, racking up the damage, and Stevenator tosses aside his swords for his own guitar.
He gets that down, so he really evened it up. I thought Stevenator was gonna have a solid lead, but I guess not.
Nope, not with that signature. And
Another down sig coming out from PXshadow.
These down sigs are insane, and they're connecting, just taking advantage of Stevenator's aggression and making him play slower than he wants to play. Shadow has the sword and is boxing out with some side airs.
Stevenator throws those guitars, gets that unarmed combo, but PXshadow picks up another sword. Stevenator finds that recovery, looking for that gravy cancel and sig, but he doesn't catch.
Stevenator rolling onto the side, or into the guitars, throws him aside,
Steve
finds the
picking
sword,
up that sword.
goes for the D-light, but doesn't connect.
Shadow finds that D-sig, knocks Stevenator far, far away, goes for that uppercut, lands it.
But it doesn't kill off the top. Shadow has to go for
Follows
another
up
one.
with another one.
But
PXshadow's disappointed here, so he follows up with a third. You know, third time's always the charm.
re-recovery is just covering Stevenator's poor landings, taking the lead, but he's in the red. It's not going to take much for Stevenator to confirm the stock himself. Stevenator holding the guitars, has them in hand. Will he toss them aside for another weapon? Shadow tosses his sword down, but doesn't manage to pick it back up. Goes for a downer into his side air, racking up the damage. Stevenator needs to end the stock quickly, otherwise Shadow's going to be able to take a sizable lead.
And he does get that recovery to take the stock, but PXshadow is going to come in refresh, and it's the pressure shifts so quickly in this matchup. Both player and legend-wise.
Shadow responding to Stevenator's downer with a downer of his own.
Hits him with the down sig. Goes for the haymaker, sends him flying, follows up with the mine, looks for the recovery, no dice, but he does catch the end sig.
These down sigs are just
And
incredibly
he catches
punishing.
another down sig!
He's hit like 5 or 6 of them during the entire duration of this match, and they've all landed. I've not seen him throw out a down sig that didn't have a great purpose. Stevenator picks up the sword, but he's already being carried off the side of the stage by Shadow's
looking to start up the
guitars.
gimp. Stevenator not allowing it, finds the sword, gets that good pressure on, finds another nair. But Shadow is going in with those guitars right now.
Shadow's carrying Stevenator across the map with these downers and side airs, just making sure that he has absolutely no window to use his sword to rack up damage. But there's the sidelight, goes for a signature, but doesn't connect.
Both players going for down air. Steve catches that D-light. And he gets a nice Qatar string.
Sorry, holding the guitars.
Maybe
Goes for the
we
down
should
sig.
say Qatars this game, seeing it.
Just for my sake, I'm going to say guitars so I can practice. Anyways, Shadow holds on to this.
Two Qatar D6. Stevenator finding that recovery. Shadow going low and being comfortable off stage.
And finds that recovery that just barely clips on the Stevenator, adding in even more damage, and finds another down
Finds the
sig.
D-sig. Doesn't go for the mine, goes for the GP instead.
Ooh, holds onto the sword.
Goes for that D-sig, gets punished. Finds that neutral air. Quite a bit of force behind it. Shadow, very high health right now.
And that's why he's deciding to hold into the side of the map. He's slowing down the pace of the game considerably, waiting for Stevenator to slip up so they can end this stock without having to lose his own. Yes, he might have a 2-stock advantage, but it's much safer if you can win it with 2 stocks instead of 1. But there's the neutral air, sends him off the top of the stage, and Stevenator evens it up 1-1, even though he's in red percent. Shadow holding with the sword, Stevenator goes in, but gets hit back by Shadow's side.
Gets that downlight in, but immediately punished by Shadow.
Shadow tosses his weapon aside, trying to go for recovery kills, but not landing. More down sigs, 3 down sigs
in a row. 4 down sigs, 5 down sigs. He takes the game.
The 5th down sig connecting, launching Stevenator off the side of the map.
I don't think I've ever seen the same signature used so many times in a row here at Gravy Cancel Sunday.
Well, I mean, we do have straight to the point Wilson side signatures, but yeah, that was quite. I guess
that
like
was 5. I don't think
like the
Wilson
frequency.
ever did 5.
Yeah, like the frequency of those signatures was kind of silly. Stevenator probably opting to switch his legend right now. Shadow has the floor to ban 2 maps. And then we'll see what Stevenator's counterpick is as we go on to game 2. Opposite pick Twilight. What's the legend choice? It's the Teros.
Ooh. See that animal. All about the animals here at Gravy Cancel Sunday. Animals inside of gravy.
Inside gravy, coated in gravy, Teros versus Asuri.
3, 2,
Stevenator versus Shadow. Let's go game 2. Twilight Grove.
PXshadow looking for that recovery, gets punished by the side light from Stevenator. Ooh, goes for that down sig again. Doesn't connect.
Stevenator holding onto the axe, hits him with the side air. Finds the down air to be able to rack up some damage. Shadow's trying to get
playing back, trying to punish PXshadow's landings with those down airs.
Ooh, but PXshadow finds a neutral and tries to get some follow-up. Stevenator doing the best that he can to avoid Shadow's pressure, and he finds a down air. Ooh, a very risky neutral signature that gets punished by Shadow's downlight side air. And he's carried across the map into the orange.
Shadow looking for that sword opening. Does find it. Stevenator, no weapon, goes for the N-Sig, it whiffs. He finds the stomp, doesn't find the Sair though.
Holding on to the side of the stage. Wow, the patience on that neutral signature. Shadow nearly runs into
Finds
it.
the recovery, goes for another N-Sig.
Wow, that slide charge neutral sig nearly connecting into Shadow, barely just hitting at the stage. Shadow finding himself in the orange, but probably terrified of this Teros neutral signatures right now. Lands the neutral light, sends Stevenator onto the island, but Stevenator is perfectly fine just sitting on that island and waiting for him to approach.
Gets that N-Sig, sends him deep.
Ooh, and there's the scoop to send him off the top of the
scoop.
stage.
The Sair.
Shadow is just terrified right now. He can't seem to get into his guitars, and there's the scoop to send him off the
And
top.
another scoop.
What an
Knock
excellent,
off Shadow.
what an excellent change of pace from Stevenator. The second that he started putting out those neutral sigs, Shadow was terrified. He didn't have no idea how to approach, and now Stevenator
Drops
has
the
the lead.
hammer, hits him with the kung fu, picks the hammer back up, got the mine in hand. Shadow runs over it and into a neutral sig from Stevenator.
Stevenator loves
Almost catches
Twilight
him with
Grove.
it, catches him with the recovery, hits him with the ground pound, but he doesn't go down off the stage. He ends up going onto the center of the stage.
Yeah, gets hit by a recovery to send him back up, but it still doesn't kill him. Honestly, Stevenator loves this little corner of Twilight Grove. He just wants Shadow to approach. And
Finds the Nair, 3-1 in Stevenator's advantage.
gosh, he's just standing over there with the hammer, making sure that he can do whatever he can with those neutral sticks to send Shadow flying and out of his comfort zone. Shadow tries to goes in for a follow-up, but gets hit by a side air. Everything Shadow's going for right now is being punished by Stevenator's Teros. Goes for a neutral light, hits him with a side air, racking up the damage. Shadow tries to go for that down sig that worked so well last game, but it doesn't connect, and Stevenator has advantage with this axe. Gets hit into the island, but it still doesn't kill. There's the side air, ends the stock. Teros ends up dying, but it's 2-1, Stevenator's lead.
Shadows, he's got those guitars. Can he find an in? You're saying, no, you can't find an in, but you can find several D-lights. You can find another D-light, and it's my D-light to deliver these D-lights. Goes for that down sig, gets in, gets some damage off, but Stevenator still sitting pretty healthy with that axe. Gets the side air, chases him off, hits him with another side air off the stage.
And brutalizes Shadows Asuri. A 2-stock clean. And we're on to game number 3. Will we see a mix-up from Shadow, or is he going to stick with his Asuri and ban out Twilight Grove? Because Stevenator definitely seems to favor Twilight Grove when he's on Teros. Bans Thunder Guard and Mammoth Fortress. What is Shadow going to pick?
Stevenator sticking with the Teros.
Opts for Great Hall, sticks with Asuri, doesn't switch to a Tori. We're moving on to game number 3.
Gotta love that Gilded Lily sword with that black Asuri.
Absolutely.
It's just so gosh darn pretty.
Here we go,
Purdy
game 3.
Asuri?
Two,
Maybe.
one,
Purdy's.
brawl.
Game number 3, both players opt for unarmed combat. First weapon spawn favors Stevenator, and he finds the hammer and immediately
Gets that
slaps him.
Sair.
Tries to
Looks
get
for the scoop, but PXshadow inside gets the damage on.
Stevenator trying to box him out right now. Both players hesitant to approach, but Stevenator seems to be fine with that situation. Tosses the hammer aside and finds the axe, and gets a down air. Finds that down air in the side air.
Ooh, he finds those 6.
Yeah, PXshadow very much favoring the down sig with the Asuri's guitars. Goes for a neutral leg to be able to cover one of Stevenator's approach, and both players are kind of boxing each other out right now, but Shadow
Going
finds
for
a
that
string!
give. And he's got it.
Oh, wow. No, he doesn't, actually. Waiting for Stevenator to come back. I want to see how that works, because he uses the weapon toss to be able to convince Stevenator to go for the ledge, gets the ground pound, but Stevenator conserves his jumps well enough to
Finds
make
that
it back to
dare.
the stage.
Looking for the recovery. Stevenator goes for that NC, gets punished hard, and finished off with a guitar throw.
Ooh. And Shadow's got a
Feels
solid
bad,
lead
man.
in this game 3. Holds onto the sword. Stevenator has the spike ball.
Throws that crocky. Doesn't hit it nothing.
Just
Doesn't hit
throwing.
anything with that bomb either.
Yeah, just tossing whatever he can at Shadow, knowing that
But
they're
he
probably not
does
going to
find
connect.
some fists.
And there's the weapon, but Shadow's quick to deny it. Goes for the ground pound with the guitars. Doesn't connect, but he's not getting hit either.
I think Steve zoned out from that weapon. I think that's what he wants to do. Stevenator tries to punish his landing with that down sig. Doesn't work. PXshadow comes out with a down sig of his own. Gets some significant damage out on Stevenator.
Ooh, but Stevenator's taking
starting
control.
to reply with those down lights.
Yeah, Shadow's starting to feel himself.
Finds the side sig. Takes the stock off of Shadow. There is just so much force behind that axe side.
The game started off at a really slow pace. Shadow got the lead, started playing aggressive, and Stevenator did 3 moves to punish all of Shadow's
Ooh,
approaches
the
in the start.
neutral. Very nice unarmed neutral coming out of PXshadow.
Stevenator using
Stevenator
that recovery.
recovering back onto the map.
And these
Almost
D-lights.
Almost getting Shadow to the same health as Steve.
Stevenator is finally recognizing that because Shadow's continuing to
He lands
approach.
the down air, gets the side light,
And
hits
another
hits a D light.
These D-lights are incredibly punishing. Every time Shadow tries to approach from the air, he's just using a D-light to deal as much damage as he can. And if Shadow tries to go from the ground, he'll just reposition for his side light. These light attacks on the axe are destroying Shadow's approach.
Punishes the down sig with the side light, then follows up with a D light.
Stevenator holding onto the
Hits
axe.
him with another one.
Goes for the D-light. Shadow's on the side of the stage. He's trying to regain his bearings, but Stevenator won't give him a chance. Goes off to the down air.
Catches him with the side and takes the stock off of PXshadow.
And this game, which was heavily in Shadow's lead, is now in Stevenator's favor as he changed his playstyle to be able to deal with Shadow's incredible aggression. Going for D-light after D-light and not getting punished. There's the down air. He's racking up the damage.
Finds that D-sig, takes the stock from Stevenator.
And stocks are evened up 1-1. Let's see who can adjust their playstyle fast enough to be able to take Game 3 of this Losers Quarters match.
They were looking for that stomp and scoop.
Ooh, goes for stomp.
PXshadow finds that bread and butter. Hits
Oh,
him with the
no.
down. Hits him with the ground pound.
But Stevenator has the ability to respond with a recovery into a neutral sig, and stocks are even. Another stomp neutral sig. Shadow's tossed off the side of the map.
Positioning himself for the gravy end sig, and he gets it.
I think that might be it. No, Shadow manages to get back to the
Shadow
stage.
still got some fight in him.
These neutral sigs are amazing. He goes for a side signature but doesn't connect. Stevenator applying amazing pressure with the hammer right now. Both players find themselves in the orange though. This match is incredibly close. These neutral
Looking
sigs
for that recovery.
are just flying out left and right. Shadow is very afraid to approach right now. And he should be as
He
another
ends up
neutral sig
eating the end
lands.
sig.
Finds himself into the orange. What's
He
Stevenator
might
going to
have
do
to
next?
play that ledge.
The problem with the ledge is that Stevenator doesn't have any fear of going out for it. Shadow decides to go back to the stage, holds the hammer in hand, he doesn't want to toss it aside, finds the scoop!
Catches the scoop, looks for the nair, can't find it. Finds that end sig, and sends him off.
Player one
The
wins.
neutral sig usage from Stevenator